What's up, guys? FrugalBC got some Hedera news today. That's right, a lot of cool stuff going on in the Hedera ecosystem. We're going to look at what does Hedera have to do with Visa. Not exactly a partnership, but a Hedera-based company is involved with Visa. We'll look at that along with three Hedera-based companies are part of Mastercard's multi-token network beta developers. We'll look at that. Hedera account creation, it's got a great chart for you on that. How can Hedera benefit those who lack traditional identity? Got a clip that we're going to take a look at, and SaucerSwap voting is live. Look at all that on today's FrugalBC. By the way, guys, if you like this kind of stuff, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, you don't have to smash it. You can just press a jump. We're always trying to bring you the truth in crypto and bringing you the news that you need to know. And we're also going to look at Hedera price in a second. Before we do that, since this is not an Algorand-based video, I just want to give a really quick shout out to our sponsors, non-fungible domains, .algo addresses, and Play to Earn Game Fractal Monsters. But enough about that, let's get into the news. Yeah, so first I just want to take a look at the Hedera price here. And you can see we actually spiked around 18 cents here. I've had a limit order that got hit, kind of consolidating. Hedera not really getting a lot of that leg up like some of the other coins were today with the recent, we had a recent pump recently, but let's take a look at, yeah, you can see Hedera here at 11 cents and just not really getting that 24-hour pump the same as a lot of the coins have right now. You know, ones like Phantom are up 14%, Core up 12, Akash 6, even Squeeze up almost 7%. Hedera enthusiasts were still in the top 30, which is much better than Algorand, which has fallen to 61. It was actually 62 this morning, so something to keep in mind. But let's get to the news. I thought this one was really interesting, and I've learned I have to be really careful how I use the word partnership because people get all kind of bent out of shape. I still defend my position on the partnership issue because I do think it is a partnership. A partnership doesn't have to be a financial affiliation. Even one of my newsletters, I have a partnership where we just link each other and show each other off. I still consider that a partnership. So, and they were aware of it. But anyway, let's get to this one. Hedera-based company SKUx has this partnership with Visa, so let's take a look at this piece of news. SKUx and Visa enable seamless digital payment consumer experiences for merchants and CPG company. SKUx, by the way, is a Hedera-based. It uses the Hedera hash graph underlying its system there. A leader in SKUx, a leader in digital instant payments innovations, today announced it has signed an agreement with Visa, a world leader in digital payments. So I think that we can call that a partnership, right? Or are you just going to get mad at me again? The agreement will accelerate, I guess it's an agreement, but to me that's, they're partnering up here. They're going to work together, so that's a partnership. The agreement will accelerate digital transformation for select merchants and consumer packaged goods companies that leverage SKUx's payment-based offer solutions, supporting a variety of client uses from customer acquisition to loyalty to consumer care and recovery while ensuring a seamless end-to-end customer experience. Yeah, those are the kind of real world stuff I like to see. Now, I know a lot of people, when you talk about the real world stuff, they say like, well, what about price? Well, they're actually two separate things, and unfortunately, for whatever reason right now, they don't seem to be linked together. It seems like stuff like Hedera, Algorand, all these things that are doing like actually solving real world problems, they just don't seem to get the price action that like meme coins do. I don't know why. It is what it is, you know, but so I see it really as twofold. I think it's really important to pay attention to price. Obviously we care about that if we're investors, but I also I care about the technology part of this. And I think that's really one of the most important things here, in my opinion. So I kind of see them as separate and sometimes linked, but most of the time not really. But I think the companies that are actually doing real things in the world are going to have the biggest impact in the long term. That's what I hope anyway. I think it's probably going to be the case, but we'll see for sure. All right, and speaking of, we got Visa, we also got some news around Mastercard, so let's take a look at this piece of news. This one comes courtesy of the HBAR Foundation themselves. Congratulations to 3 Hedera-based ecosystem projects. First Supply Company, Invenium, sometimes I have trouble with these, and Vayana Official. They're all, you know, have to do with payments, I believe. This one's more of a data firm, and Fresh Supply is like infrastructure for trade, payments, and tokenization. So congrats to all those for being part of the 5 mentioned Mastercard multi-token beta app developers. Well, that seems like a cool thing. Next generation of blockchain and banking, fusing flexibility of crypto with the convenience of fiat. Last summer, we announced the Mastercard multi-token network to bring a set of tools and standards to power innovative new business models across the various sectors, leveraging tokenized bank accounts. Now, after months of beta testing, including a first-of-its-kind innovation sprint, MTN's promise is closer to fruition, with Standard Chartered Bank Limited, Mox Bank Limited, and Liberia. We are piloting paying for tokenized form of carbon credits with tokenized deposits. And late last year, we completed another pilot in Hong Kong that demonstrated MTN's ability to settle digital asset transactions involving decentralized applications, wrapped up in a similar project in Australia. In all cases, our network standards and infrastructure successfully enabled trusted transactions in the blockchain using either tokenized deposits or central bank digital currencies. Let's see if they mention, well here, range of app developers including QualiPay, Inevm, Fresh Supply, these two, Inevm and Fresh Supply, and Viana. Those are the three Hedera-based ones. I'm not sure about QualiPay. Are already turning their attention to MTN, channeling blockchain's power to transform everything from loan disbursement to carbon credits. So that's the kind of stuff I like to see with blockchains. I like that there's real world stuff going on, and you think these companies are paying attention. You know, these Visa, Mastercard, they're paying attention to blockchain. The technology has a use for them, and I think that's really important. They're not going to be doing this stuff on PayPay or Dogecoin, okay? They're doing this stuff on like serious tokens. While these coins, yeah, they're not going to get like the big giant pumps up, but they're going to be solid over the long term, I think. I think they're going to exist for a long time. Another thing I really like to see, Hedera account creations popping off right now. Over 83,000 created in the last 24 hours. This is May 14th to May 15th, so it's a little old, but that's a lot of accounts created in just a short period of time. You remember this one? Remember Forbes was considering adding this to their zombie chain network, which is crazy, right? 83,000 accounts being created in a day. That's a zombie chain. They only didn't because they had a talk with Hedera. They didn't have a talk with the other ones, but Hedera convinced them otherwise. But I think a lot of the ones on the zombie chains are kind of ridiculous. Algorand was like number 5 for transactions per day, something like that. So we just covered that on Tuesday. But yeah, I just find that really funny. Speaking of real world solutions, what about like people who lack identity? Well, Hedera has some interesting solutions around that. We're going to take a look at a little clip that's going to talk about that.
You know, why it was started, what your... Can you give us just a little bit of background on your organization, you know, why it was started, what your mission is?
Yeah, happy to do it. Look, and again, thank you all very much for being here. But Zenobia, the genesis for aid tech comes from the Moroccan desert, believe it or not, all the way back to 2009. So my co-founder, Joseph, who's an amazing guy, who had his first baby child born today. But Joseph Zenobia ran a marathon called Marathon des Sables back in 2009. He raised a big sum of money for charity. We weren't able to see where that money was going. And around 2012, we attended an event in Dublin called the World Humanitarian Summit. A former Secretary General of the UN called Ban Ki-moon attended the event and told us that about 30% of aid was missing every year. So what we did was, taking inspiration from the Bitcoin white paper, which was published by Satoshi, there was an element of financial inclusion in that, and we thought the real innovation, to make a long story short, was the traceability and the transparency that ledger can afford. So we had an idea, we wanted to do a project, we said let's do it in a really tough to reach area, so we can make an impact, make a difference, and bring identity to people who don't already have it. So we approached the Red Cross, we told them there's this new technology out there, we'd love to trial it, and we think an ideal use case is international aid. So we did a project, Zenobia, in a refugee camp, happened in Lebanon, and we proved that we could send aid over blockchain and we could bring traceability and transparency to the process. We soon realized that there are over 1 billion people on the planet without any form of digital identity for that matter. And we thought if you combine and you merge digital identity with payments, and if you focus on the value proposition of traceability and transparency, you can create some compelling use cases.
Yeah, so I think that's a really interesting use case. I think that could be a very compelling reason. Actually got 2 use cases there that I think are really awesome. One, you know, transparency for, say, charity, where you know where your money's actually going, but then also providing digital IDs for for people who don't have them. You know, it's a way to help out those people too, and then they can get access to different services. I think that's a really great thing. One last little piece of news. I've actually been a really big fan of SaucerSwap. I like the way it works. The Sauce coin has been kind of taken off during this bull run, but they got some news today. SaucerSwap voting now live. Head over to SaucerSwap Labs Discord and vote for PAC to be listed as a default token and create the farm. Be sure to associate the PAC token ID. Are you fully packed? You can learn all about it in their Discord, in the SaucerSwap Discord. So yeah, that's cool. You know, the more things that have voting, I think that's a good thing for the ecosystem. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope everyone enjoyed that news today. If you had other news that you think is interesting, or let me know what you think about this news, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm FrugalBC, and I will see you in the future.